Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Melbourne Cricket Ground. You're looking at the Werribee football team, representatives of the VFA, through to the final of the inaugural Premiers Cup, which has been a four-round competition played between premiers or grand finalists from the VFA, the Victorian Country Football Association, the Victorian Amateurs and the Metropolitan Football League. And after 3 weeks of knockout competition, the grand finalists are Werribee and North Ballarat, yet to come out onto the ground. You're looking at a delayed telecast of the game played this morning at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, the first game ever of football in front of the completed Great Southern Stand. So cricket last Wednesday, now we're into the business football here at the mighty Melbourne Cricket Ground. Werribee just going through their preparations for this big game. A lot of players in the team, of course, experienced league footballers, but they'll be feeling a bit toey back on the MCG. And North Ballarat, well, not too many players there have experienced football here in this great amphitheatre. Let's take a look at the North Ballarat lineup. Changes to every line. This is the team that appeared in the paper. As you'd expect, it's a lot different. The most recognisable name, of course, the Carlton Premiership player Jim Buckley. He'll start in the middle today, not on the ball, as you see there. 3 Polkinghorns in the team, all sons of a former North Ballarat great, Kevin. Chris Hills will start in the ruck for the Roosters today. Nick White at full forward. Well, their playing coach is Jim Buckley. He's known many honours on this ground, but this must be a special one, leading the country representatives, North Ballarat, against the city.
Yes, Pete, it's fantastic effort by our fellas up there. The series has been good, you know. We've had to come up a little bit earlier over the year and bring our training forward, but, you know, they've adapted to it really good, and it's a great effort for them to get here today.
Well, they will go in as underdogs. Do you think that's going to be a good thing, perhaps an unknown quantity?
Well, it doesn't matter how you rate them, it's how you play on the day, isn't it? And we're expecting to be a very, very determined side today and take it right up to Werribee.
What do you think the strengths of North Ballarat are?
I think it'll be our running players, and we've got a couple of really good marking players around the ground. Plus our attitude, you know, they've got a great attitude, these kids, and that's the main thing that we've got. And, you know, they're very, very willing to do well here today.
And this is the team they'll be playing against, Werribee. This is the team that was in the paper. A lot of changes there as well. Linton Fitzpatrick is out with a back injury. Andrew Button comes into full back. Nick Walsh is not on interchange as he was named in the press. He's got a hamstring injury. Damien Drum at full forward. He's been the star of the competition so far. Kicked 17 goals in 3 games. Leon Harris not playing, non-playing coach today. I asked him if the Premiers Cup had given his team focus in its pre-season preparations.
Well, we hope we are. I think most sides are going to improve. I think we've been fortunate to pick up quite a few younger guys, a couple of experienced players as well, Craig Allardyce and Fraser Murphy. But I think the younger players are the ones that we're sort of looking at, your Madigans, your Ryans, your Wilkins, David Mays, guys like that, because one thing that we did lack last year was a bit of youth and a bit of run. So that's sort of one area that we looked at. We need to sort of strengthen our ruck division, so we went for John Ironmonger, who we were fortunate to pick up. So
but he won't be there today.
No, he won't be playing today.
David will have to do it all again.
Oh, Dave, but we've got Craig Allardyce if we need to use him. So, oh well, it's yeah, it's been good the pre-season at this stage, but it's a great opportunity for the guys. A lot of them haven't played on the MCG, but oh well, let's see what happens today. It should be a great experience for them.
And there's Jim Buckley. He's out there in the middle. Last time I saw him playing here was for Carlton Reserves in 1987 when they beat St Kilda on a very hot day at the G. That's the North Ballarat Roosters out there warming up, and they've just had their photo taken. A very big day for them, but don't think that the Werribee players aren't a little bit nervous as well. I'm sorry to bring up that 1987 game. Carlton beat St Kilda on that day, and a man who played against Jim Buckley's joining us in commentary. It's great to have Gary Hodges with us. Gary, the current coach of the East Ballarat side. Gary, you and North Ballarat really have been the powers in Ballarat football over the last, well, decade, I guess.
Yeah, probably over the last 4 or 5 years, I suppose, but North's always been a strong side, and you know, they'll just get better as the years go by, and they're always hard to compete with, and you know, I wish them well today, and I hope that they have a good game.
Everybody in Ballarat be supporting North Ballarat, or are they the team people like to hate up there? They've got a lot of money and a very powerful club.
Oh no, I think that in a competition like this, I think you'll find that North Ballarat's representing Ballarat, and I think most of the Ballarat people will be behind them.
Great, Gary. Great to have you with us this afternoon. Of course, it wouldn't be a new VFA season, even though this is a little bit different, the pipe opener. It's the Premier's Cup, and Sam Kekovich back with us. Of course, Phil Cleary out on the election hustings. No mention about that today. He's wishing he was here, I know, Sam, but great to have you with us.
Terrific, Peter. Looking forward to the season. He is on the hustings, and it is taboo. I realise that topic at the moment, but it's great to be back in the thrust of things.
What about Werribee? Beaten in the grand final in the VFA by Dandenong last year. Everyone's saying they are the team to beat this year.
Well, I'm sure they'll take it very keenly. I mean, so they'll be keen to atone for last year's loss, but their performances in the preliminary rounds has been absolutely awesome, and I can't see them being beaten here today. I just feel on the weight of, you mentioned drum kicking 17 goals, their defence headed by the likes of Spearings. They've got an ominous look about them. Morgan across the half-forward line, so I'm tipping Werribee, and it'll be a great game. OK, well, let's go down to Ross Booth. It's Happy New Year to Ross, and happy birthday, 40 years of age this week.
Oh, thanks, Pete. I thought you could have kept that a secret, but literally people are streaming to the MCG. The gates have just been opened in this delayed telecast, and I was down the North Ballarat rooms there testing out the new rooms, the first club there. Very spacious, almost one shower per player, so that's very good conditions in the Great Southern Stand. Beautiful conditions, overcast at the moment, but I think it'll be a fine day by the end of it, and should be a great game. I've seen a couple of preliminaries.
The umpires, Mark Prince, who's going to bounce the ball, and Keith Gallagher. And North Ballarat going from left to right, really no wind advantage. And they're wearing the black shorts. They won the toss. Guernsey's pretty similar. North getting it forward first. Bit of body work in there, and it's Werribee who get it forward. Oh, good mark pulled in by Hennessy there. Difficult one, the ball floating over his shoulder, and he pulled it in. The only farmer I hear in the North Ballarat side. Ball spills off to Lewis. Kick's got plenty of carry on it. Better judge behind the pack there was Hunt. Couldn't take it with him, though. Buttons shoots the handball out. And a good diving piece of play there. Putting his body in was for North Ballarat, Travis Polkinghorn. Of course, the umpire's now coming out of the one pool, so they're used to it, as Rayburn looked to Eames and said passes. Over the head of Alderdice. The knock on to Morgan. Terrific play. It's a goal. Opening goal for the Bees. And Morgan goes back upfield to congratulate the man responsible for the knock-on. It was Damien Drum.
I realise you've suffered your 40th, but you're not surely going a bit senile.
No, it's taken 10 minutes, Sam.
Here we are up in the members, looking down on the MCG and the Great Southern Stand. Well, it's filling. Alderdice on a lead. He'll leave it. Lesaputty going past him, Geary. And now Alderdice is free and should goal. 45-degree angle. Craig Alderdice slots it for Werribee second. On comes Darryl Taylor, who kicked 6 off the bench last week in the second half against Dandenong in that semi-final. Polkinghorn pops the ball high. There's a heap of roosters here. Or getting some good shepherding from Hines. Goes to Fiddler.
Beautiful pass.
He seems to be the man they're trying to pick up. Now he squares. Good play to Buckley. Well, Buckley's a man they're not picking up.
No, Jimmy's drifting down into the forward line there, and Werribee's going to have to be a little bit careful. A couple of times there the ball's been rebounded back quickly, and North's now got an opportunity through their veteran, Jimmy Buckley.
This is his 7th kick. He slots this one, and the difference is 7 points in favour of Werribee. No mistake. North Ballarat are on the board, goal-wise anyway.
Well, that'll certainly give them a lift.
Michael Ryan just couldn't bring it down. Handball forward by Sheehan. Werribee's new players. Eames over. And Sheehan follows up well the hand pass. Wide looking forward. Drum just beats him. Rayburn there, but leaves it for Drum. Tries to fend off his man, does so. Into McMaster. Good shot at goal as McMaster. And he kicks the 3rd goal for Werribee. A quick reply in the Premier's Cup, first quarter.
Eames got a bad bounce. Waiting for it, Geary. Drum spears the ball beautifully to Ryan. Under pressure. That's a good goal. Well, he's been quite impressive, Michael Ryan.
Yes.
North Albo's in their first round. Werribee chance for another one. No. Siren too close.
Werribee having the better of the first quarter of the Premier's Cup Grand Final for 1992. They lead by 20 points. Their goal kickers, Darren Morgan, Craig Alderdice, Michael McMaster and Michael Ryan, while for North Ballarat, Jim Buckley, their sole goal kicker. So it's a 20-point lead for Werribee over North Ballarat. That's our view. Commentary position here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground in the members. Couldn't ask for a better spot to watch footy. It's an overcast sort of day, but hopefully I don't think rain will affect this game. But we're looking at North Ballarat on the right there, the huddle, and Jim Buckley down there speaking to them. A few people hanging their heads. And it might be just as well that we can't hear Jim, Gary.
Yes, I think it might be, although basically I think you'd have to be pretty happy with their endeavour. I think their endeavour and their commitment to one another has been pretty good. Just been a few little small facets of the game that's sort of letting them down at this stage. Mainly their switch-over period from when they've got it to when the opposition's got it. But, you know, there's still 3 quarters to go, and they've certainly shown that they're going to be competitive. So, you know, Jimmy's probably just laying a few home truths there to a few of them. Leon
Harris, likewise. Werribee did seem to get some system going towards the end, but Sam, you're making the point that it's going to take a while for players, even though a lot of them have had league experience, to come to terms with 18 men aside and the less amount of time you have to get rid of the ball.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more there. I bet it's going to be a monumental assignment for coaches throughout the VFA with 18 aside. You know,
here's a Orr free. Polkinghorne on his inside. Orr can have another 2 or 3 bounces if he wants to. Go short to Fiddler. They might lose the advantage here. It's allowed Werribee down to pick up men. Fiddler is fiddling. But it's paid off Lewis. Yes, he's given the free, I think, for in the back.
Yeah, I thought that free kick was there, Peter. No doubt about that.
The forwards don't have a good record of getting those, Gary, as a rule.
No, they normally don't, Sam.
A little bit more compassionate, these umpires.
Well, a very important kick for Wes Lewis. The left footer is true. So that's a good start to the term for North Ballarat. Wes Lewis, the brother of Dale Lewis, who played Fitzroy.
The half forward over Alderdice's head. Coming out for the Roosters is Knowles. Polkinghorne underneath it. One is. Down goes Jale Waldron. Fiddler takes the advantage. Polkinghorne almost looked to be tackled, but just got clear. Up to Lewis. And within kicking distance.
Well, they're using the ball very well, North Ballarat, and they're managing to have numbers at the paw of the ball. Players working a lot harder, better constitution.
Those smaller forwards are starting to move around a little bit more now too. Sam, John Orr and Lewis and that, they're covering a bit of area now, and you know, they're starting to cause the Werribee players a few headaches.
Coming back,
and that's
maybe.
A great goal.
Yes, he's got it. He's second in the quarter in about a minute for Wes Lewis.
Might give them just the spur on that they need.
Yes, and some poor tackling by Werribee.
Running well, Eames. Good attacking play from Eames. Gets around his man. 40 metres from goal. Sets sail for them and kicks it. Beautiful play, Anthony Eames. And then Werribee looking good on the rebound.
Unfortunately for him, all Tigers around there. Madigan, good shepherding from all day. Hills drags him to the ground. Gives him a rough up behind players. Eames steams into goal for Drum. Oh, what strength. Get out of my way.
It's been interesting, Joe. I've been watching Kennedy on Drum very closely. It's the Indian arm wrestle situation.
Gee, he sets that jaw, and that nose has seen a lot of traffic over the years. He's pretty formidable, even though he's not all that tall. He's looking the goods as the spearhead for Werribee, going for his 18th goal in Premier's Cup competition. Kicks straight through at his first goal of the afternoon. Werribee have certainly seen off that initial rush in this quarter from North Ballarat.
Out possession and very creative forward.
Roosters need to strike back. One by all day. Underneath it, Lesser Putty.
Yes.
The umpire paying that one. What do you think?
Oh, that was a super umpiring decision. Ross, don't tell me you found it as though it was a contentious issue.
Why, Sam? So
Well, he's just impeded he just jumped on his back even before he was, he never had his eyes on the ball at all.
Exactly.
Just jumped on his back.
And Frank Lesapati shows them how to do it. Kicks Werribee's second goal. All good on the left foot, intercepted by Button. He goes down from a tackle by Hunt. Now here's a chance from Andrew Madigan. Over to Orr. He spotted a man in Lewis who runs in and kicks his third for the quarter. That was good play by the Roosters.
Yeah, displayed a coolness under pressure. I thought for one fleeting moment that Orr was going to snap.
Gained an extra 40 metres there on the run. Rayburn had some support from Lesapati. He'd be in there for the Dyer medal too, I think. And the numbers to the Tigers here. Ryan might run within range and have a shot. 55 out.
Ooh.
Oh, against Cushion, I think. The mark will be paid anyway.
Yeah, the inches told the story there. Big Allardyce dropping back into the square.
Well, Taylor hasn't kicked a goal yet.
Oh, Taylor, Allardyce, getting them mixed up continually.
18 and 28, Sam. 28 is Taylor.
They said you couldn't count, Sam.
Wasn't one of my strengths, accountancy, Ross, yes.
So, as has been the case all quarter, the North Ballarat goals have been answered very quickly by Werribee. That's Taylor's first.
KS Ryan switches play, looking out for Lewis, but it's 2-1. Well done by Sheehan with a fist. Cleverly over the tap by Ryan, who's been impressive. Rayburn high. Lesapati late on the scene, and chipping in is Allardyce.
That's the right one this time, Ross. Almost raffling it around between them, aren't they, the talls?
Lesapati, Allardyce, and Taylor up there. So for the fifth of the quarter, Allardyce punts for goal, and the goal umpire likes it. So 5 goals in that quarter to Werribee, and Allardyce kicks his second for the match.
Yes, it's a 34-point lead at half-time for the Werribee Tigers. Talking about how they could have done things better, how they will play together up there in the forward line. Allardyce and Lesapati, they've been conspicuous. Looking at their goal kickers, Allardyce the only multiple with 2, 1 in each quarter. The single goal kickers, Drum, Morgan, Ryan, Taylor, McMaster, Eames, Lesapati. North Ballarat, their multiple goal kicker, Wes Lewis, kicked 3 in that quarter. Jim Buckley got 1 in the first term. So it was a 20-point lead to Werribee at quarter time. At half time in the Premier's Cup at the MCG, it's Werribee by 34.
About 70 metres from goal. In front towards Drum. Just too strong for Paul Kennedy.
Superior judgment and reading of the game and reading of the ball. Ross positioned himself extremely well. And there's just a vice-like grip. It's just a one-grab situation with Damien Drum.
They're really starting to put their authority on the game at the moment, Sam.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there, Gary.
Damien Drum kicked a goal in the second quarter, and that's applauded through.
I just
by
feel
Darryl Taylor.
Yeah, the hero in the dying moments last week against Vermont in that semi-final. Eames leaves the ball for all day. Good hands. Rayburn to Eames, always making himself available. 45 metres out. Educated kicks, a beauty.
That's a wonderful goal and a wonderful passage of play. They really are gelling together, Werribee now. They're stamping their class and authority on the match.
He's certainly impressed here today. Now all day being chased by Orr, breaking clear, Damien Drum, and he doesn't let those slip away. And I'm sure one interested viewer this afternoon will be the Dominator, Wayne Johnson, who's coaching Sebastopol this year, and they're playing North Ballarat first up next week at Sebastopol. So Buckley against Johnson, that's going to bring a big crowd, I'd reckon, to Sebastopol to watch that one.
I think that they might come out of the rafters, Peter.
But it's Damien Drum for Werribee as they're continuing to stretch away from North Ballarat. Have they got another goal? They have. Drum has kicked 3, and that gives him 20 in 4 games in the Premier's Cup.
Werribee doing as they're saying in the rooms, they're really going to try and crunch North Ballarat by running hard this term, putting into practice Lesapati. Thump goes Big Frank, and that's there. two bigger players.
Oh, pushed in the back.
Short on. Well, I don't know if it was intended for Alderdice.
He kicks the ball well, Alderdice. And what I was alluding to before, I was a bit rushed. When you kick, the weight should be transferred on your front foot. A lot of players you see when they're kicking on the point of impact, all their weight's on their back foot, which obviously hinders their distance and accuracy. Look at that, it's a perfect kick. Should be a goal. Yes.
Oh, Sam, they're obviously wired for sound down there. They've taken it all on board.
So, in exaggerated fashion, Peter McKenna and Peter Hudson.
Oh, and he's been right in there all match, be in the running for that inaugural Jack Dyer medal.
Oh, look at this.
Yes, a raffle. Knight. Long lead from Taylor. Well, we could have another full forward Taylor to watch out for in the VFA this year, Sam.
We could. The other one, you can rest assured, is extremely keen. Now the weight through the ball, not leaning back. That's better, son.
Oh, has it got through? I think it might have, yes. So Darryl Taylor kicks his second of the day. And, well, it's looking how far Werribee at this stage. North Ballarat, they seem to be really in damage control mode right from the start, just trying to, through pressure and perseverance and persistence, stop Werribee from scoring, but that's starting to break down now.
Yeah, they've withheld that initial thrust. They've met their physical endeavour, and now their class and skills are just taking over, Peter.
A non-contest as All Day paddles it down. Morris overlapping to Knight. Knight the overlap to Taylor.
Well, that dual-pronged forward line again, you know, with Drum and Taylor proving so decisive. And really, it's been a masterly performance, especially now that they've gained complete control of midfield. You know, it proves unstoppable. I feel sorry for the defence. It's the midfielders that are the culprits.
It's all right off the boot, but Australia, I think, no, they're clapping it. Well done. 2 in a minute to Darryl Taylor, and wonder whether he's got access to ABC television. And
I think he leaned back on that one, to tell you the truth.
I wasn't all that...
It's the ends justify the means, though, doesn't it?
Well, I'll accept that, Peter, but I wasn't all that wrapped in the execution myself.
It's Tills.
You're a tough. I'm glad you weren't an umpire. Never get a kick.
Had his eyes on the ball. He just dislodged the ball from his arms. He didn't make contact with his head.
Oh,
Back of his ear, Sam. 28 minutes gone.
Slightly.
Knight, Eames quickly onto it. Towards goal, Anthony Eames. He's showing his class.
Been a
His
wonderful,
third goal.
been a wonderful three-quarter player, Eames. He's been a good player throughout the game.
And would very well know that chasing is one of the hardest things to do, and it certainly saps the energy. You seem to be able to run a lot better when you've got possession of the ball.
Fiddler penalised. And Morris takes the free. Up towards Taylor. Fiddler the fist away. Polkinghorne heads for the boundary. And that was a rather defensive option.
He probably had time to look up the field there and try and pick out an option, but he's only a youngster, and, you know, a game like this will just do his experience a world of good.
well, they've increased their lead by 50 points in that quarter, Werribee. They kicked 8 goals, while Ballarat could only add 3 behinds. The goal kickers for Werribee, 3 apiece to Alderdice, Drum, Lesapati, Taylor. 2 to Eames, singles to Morgan, Ryan and McMaster. For North Ballarat, Wes Lewis, 3 goals all in that second quarter. Jim Buckley got 1 in the first. You're looking at a delayed telecast of the inaugural Premier's Cup Grand Final, and Werribee would look to have it in the bag, 84 points up at 3/4 time. That's a commentator's view from the members at the MCG. No better views in world sport, I don't think, especially now that the Great Southern Stand is in situ and filling up rapidly for the game to follow this Premier's Cup Grand Final. And Werribee here, well, Ross Booth said the message from the rooms at halftime was bury North Ballarat. Well, they've gone a long way towards doing that in the third quarter. Leon Harris, non-playing coach today, would be very happy with the situation, I'm sure.
Still, we've got to come through the middle a little bit more. We're not playing the centre, play around the centre square, right? A couple of times you push.
Might be a little difficult to hear Bork, but he's saying still come through the middle, use the corridor. I suppose it's a good opportunity, Sam, to hone the skills and perhaps to be a little bit ahead of some of the other VFA sides in both match play and, well, we keep harking back to 18-man aside for the first time since, I think, 1960 or 61 in the
61,
VFA.
I think it is,
Yeah.
Peter. You're dead right. It's a wonderful opportunity for them. But more importantly, I think there would be some very concerned VFA coaches watching this awesome display here today by Werribee. They really have looked extremely good, and I'm not for one moment dispelling the quality of opposition that they dispense with such consummate ease, because North Ballarat's performances in getting to the grand final have been very meritorious.
He probably could have done with a cushion on his backside, I believe, after he took that huge mark last week. He hit the ground and had to go off on a stretcher.
Yeah, I think the only time I've been up that high, Peter, was in a plane.
There's Eames chipping into Buck, and he'll shoot for goal about 30 metres out directly. Oh, well, slight angle. No angle to talk of. Shouldn't worry him. And this will get Werribee off to the start. But they were looking forward to really finish off this game in fine style and face up to Dandenong in the repeat of the VFA Grand Final in round one next, well, Saturday week. Bucks put it through. 15 goal leaders are the Tigers.
It's a high one. That's making it hard for a forward. With a few fists to this one. Knight at the foot. The fall of the ball. Out to May. Madigan. The Werribee Madigan. Awkward kicking style he has, though. Buckley a chance for their fifth goal. On the angle. That's a bit of class. His second goal.
Yeah, the master. But gee, really, that was terrible defensive work by Madigan, and I'm sure there'll be a runner out to him very shortly. There was just no percentage in the play that he endeavoured to do. You know, the only possible option that he had was to go around the boundary line. Even just the dribble over the boundary line would have sufficed.
Quinlan and Werribee clear. Well, I think Buckley's given up worrying about Eames. He's just letting him go. Eames couldn't go 4 bounces if he wants. No, goes for all day. Rayburn behind the pack. Oh, great weaving and dodging. Excellent kick at goal from Morris. Good goal, Robert Morris.
Yeah, the quick reply, Gary. They seem to have the answers immediately, don't they?
We'll have to bring some illusion into the Iron Curtain, I think, before the day's out, Sam.
Morris into the open spaces. Not for long, though. Lesapati, a real contributor all match. Morgan running onto the handball from Richie Rayburn. Through the middle it goes.
Very
Darren
classy.
Morgan gets his second.
Players are extremely nippy and great recovery, like the Morgans and the Eames. Not to mention Ryan, of course.
Greg Buck. Rayburn late. Troon tackled.
Good pressure.
Lesapati's taken a while. Drum. Taylor. Well, everything going right for the Bees.
Yes, even that indiscriminate kick by... Well, it wasn't actually indiscriminate. I think he was more...
I'm sure
He was having a shot at goal.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Exactly. I thought he was having a shot at goal, but ended up in the safe hands of this guy who's displayed his aerial supremacy today.
Kicks his fourth goal, Darryl Taylor.
Not to mention his improved goal-kicking prowess also. Ross, you're
Sam,
going to add?
I'm sure that North Ballarat players feel that the Werribee side are very aptly named the Bees. This day of the game.
Basically, the biggest difference is it just becomes quick, and you've got to be able to do things more proficient, but it's got to be done at a quicker pace.
Bolkinghorn hasn't stopped trying. His brother either of them. As Buckley goes for number 3. Yes.
Well done, Jimmy.
Where would they be without him?
Oh,
I think he must have heard me before, Sam, when I said he's starting to feel the pinch, because since then he's really got into another gear and he's just leading the way and showing the boys, well, OK, look, on the scoreboard we might be beaten, but let's just keep having a go at it.
Yes.
Down goes Geary. Comes Grant Polkinghorne. But Lesapati disposes of Grant Polkinghorne. Morris, there is a natural left footer. Taylor, Morgan waits in the back, spots Knight, who's in turn sees Eames. That was beautiful, didn't have to look. He knew Eames was there, and Eames runs in and kicks a goal. And that was beautiful football by Werribee. And 3 goals to Anthony Eames, 4. Rayburn. Tackle on Ryan. Polkinghorne to Lewis. And, travel gathering it was cushion. Eames, got away. Good hand pass. Morris again over the top. Rayburn back to Eames, number 5. Gee, Sam, he's getting closer to that trophy, I would suggest.
Gary, one thing I'm not degrading the Ballarat League, but I think pressure and pace has really taken on a new dimension as far as North Ballarat are concerned here this afternoon, especially towards the second half.
Yeah, it certainly has. You can see there, Eames, and he no sooner had he given it than he follows up again, and there he is running through towards the square, and it's just easy.
Morris and Rayburn involved there with a lead of 20 goals.
Lyons decides to go with the right boot. I don't know how good his left is. We've also seen that the player's not as good on either side of their body.
Was that Eames again?
Counterparts from the VFA.
Eames delivered it to
Eames, yes, getting it to
Morgan, who's a real key to this side, Morgan. His blistering pace and ball control, he's the linchpin.
He made it for number 3. Sorry, Gary. He's kicked it.
You made the comment earlier there in the second quarter, Sam, that Werribee started to lift once Darren Morgan went onto the ball, and I think that was probably...
Well, he's played a lot of football, Gary, in domestic comp here as a half-back flanker, where his run from the half-back when they were 16 aside was invaluable. You know, he was really the springboard of their attack. We're listening to too much cricket, Peter. Domestic competition. Listen to Tony Casey.
Well, it's not hard to get a little bit confused, as there's a stupid 50-metre penalty given away. Initially, it was a bad free kick, and then Hills, in frustration, just threw the ball away.
That's their 3rd, I think, Paul Field. Yes.
3 as against 0, I'd say.
0.
Yeah.
Might have been a bit of frustration, do you think?
Well, I suppose you look up at the scoreboard and see 25 goals to 6. Be hard not to be a bit frustrated.
I would say so.
Greg Buck kicks his 2nd goal. How far Werribee, if it hasn't been for about a quarter and a half? Only 2 goals kicked in the second half by North Ballarat.
By Polkinghorne, run down by Button. Off to Lewis, squaring kick. He uses the ball well, does Lewis. Chance now for Colin Hunt, getting into the play a bit, and Buckley's run down from centre field. He's kicked 2 goals this quarter and may end up with his 3rd.
Wonderful reader of the game. He realised, summed it up to a nicety. Saw a gap appear, he saw where the ball was, and he put himself in the position to be the next option. And lining up for his 4th, I think, from memory, Ross.
That's right, Sam, in his 28th possession. And well done, Jim Buckley. 4 goals.
Do you think that could just take a little bit of gloss off Eames's game, Sam? The fact that if Jimmy's been his opponent, he's had 28 possessions and kicked 4 goals. Well, they obviously haven't played too close with one another, have they?
It's a valid point, Gary, but I suspect that Eames is
I think
no
they'll
longer...
reintroduce themselves to one after the game.
I think what happened in the 2nd and 3rd quarter, I think Morgan tagged Buckley. Not that I'm trying to get out of it, Gary, it's... You may well be right, has taken the gloss off. In fact, if they are playing on each other.
Richard Geary could have shot for goal and selfishly gave it to Lesapati. He's kicked very well today, Frank Lesapati, either side of the body. That's his 4th goal.
He's been a wonderful player, has he? 70 out.
Yeah, I don't know whether he can kick that long, Sam.
It's a big ask. Who's there? Hunt in
Not
front.
a bad kick, though.
And he's got
it.
it.
A good mark. That's good too, because Colin Hunt has got his hands to quite a few today, but unfortunately hasn't been able to take them. But that one on the juggled effort, now he's going to be shooting for goal about 7 metres out. And hopefully he'll kick it. And has.
You didn't lay your cards on the table too early there, Gary. Premier's Cup. As Geary chips into Morris. A standing start, he goes to Drum. Kennedy again has the defensive sit. Rayburn, the rover, caps it off. Oh, classy goal. He had to be quick, and I thought early on he was dropping marks and perhaps not finding his mark with his handball, but...
John keeps it in front of him. Murphy left it behind. McInerney out to John Polkinghorne. And Orr now got some space at half forward. He'll come back onto that left foot. He decided to take his time and punt for goal. John Orr yet to notch a major. Do you tick up 2 minutes at a time on? Looks good off the boot, John Orr. And a ripple of applause from the MCG to the support for the Roosters.
A wonderful kick, Gary, wasn't it?
Yeah. Ahead. Charging through, it's Geary. He might go all the way this time, Geary. No, he's going to pop it over the top. No, it's Taylor. Oh, nice one on the run.
Well, you wouldn't get any easier than that, would you? The reply. Straight out the centre, 2 bounces, a handball and a goal.
Buckley in the way. Good tackle, Jimmy Buckley. May gets a hand pass away, though. McMaster into the pocket. Taylor and Drum through Taylor's hands. Gathered by Murphy. Well done to Drum. Open goal coming up. Low and hard at the goal face and straight through.
Forward for North Ballarat. Waldron had that last snap for a behind. His teammate is being crunched down there, Colin Hunt, and will get the free. I think he
sympathy one.
Paid the benefit there of not being able to get off the ground.
I think he might have given him that one for courage, and then he had to stand and wait for it. And
well, I'd like to see
they were certainly coming from everywhere.
I'm speechless, I tell you.
I think the umpires have done a pretty good job. Mark Prince and Keith Callaghan.
Well, it's been an easy game to umpire after quarter time, or halfway through that second term.
And Colin Hunt kicks his second goal of the quarter. Well, it's been North Ballarat's best term. Kicked 6 goals.
Well, he did have the hand on the shoulder as he went up.
Werribee could be on the way towards erasing that disappointment this season. They face up. No, they won't do it next week, but the week after they face up to Dandenong will be live with VFA football from the 11th of April. As Orr chips for another goal. Good shepherding on the line. John Orr gets his second of the term, and North Ballarat, to their credit, have fought it right out, kicked 7 goals in this last quarter. They led by 20 points at quarter time, 34 at half time, 84 points at 3/4 time, and they've ended up crushing a gallant North Ballarat side here.
It has been a good display of character by North Ballarat to keep assisting.
Yes, and before we do sign off, Gary Hodges, all the best with East Ballarat. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks very much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, Gary, best of luck for the year, mate.
Thanks, Sam.
Sam, great to have you back with us for a new season. We'll look forward to having you with us in a fortnight's time out there at Dandenong, as North Ballarat might finish up with a goal here. Waldron goes through, puts it in. 113 points the difference at this stage. And congratulations must go to Werribee, winners of the inaugural Premier's Cup.